What's up, y'all? Welcome to the On the Come Up podcast, where creative entrepreneurs share their come up journeys that turn their passions into success. I'm your host, Kimberly, so let's get started. What is up, guys? We are back with another episode of On the Come Up podcast. Today we are here with
Cauliflower.
Kali is a music artist. Mm-hmm. So I actually saw you're from Hawaii.
Yes, I'm from Oahu, Hawaii.
Really? Mm-hmm. I used to live in Hawaii.
Wait, really?
When I was 10.
Wait, like because your parents were in the military, or
my dad was in the military.
What
so
island?
Like, Oahu.
Yeah.
Yeah. What area did you live in?
So I lived in Pearl City, which is like near the Pearl Harbor area.
Okay, I lived in Kaneohe.
Oh, that's like the east side. That was the pretty side. You have to like go through all the mountains to get there.
That's so it cool. Felt like home. Like even though I was only there for like 3 years, I remember it so much, and I was 10 years old, and I was like, but it felt like home.
Oh, that's so
during
cool.
That time, because I have never.
I left when I was 8, so like.
Oh, yeah. Wait, how old are you, Rebecca?
Oh, I can't tell everyone that.
Oh, you can't tell anyone that? You're just like me. Girl, you're young. Oh, so maybe we weren't there at the same time, because I'm like way older than you.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm not really 23.
Oh, I believed you. No, just kidding. She just want to tell. She don't like telling her age. She's like me. I don't like telling my age either.
We age fine like wine. That's all you need to know.
Have you been back since?
Oh yeah, I go back every year because my dad and my dad's side of the family and a little bit of my mom's side's still there. So I like to go back and visit and get like in touch with my roots again. Because like I left when I was 8, so I do like to go back and make sure I never really like forget about what it's like to be a local.
Right. Yeah, I miss it. I've been back 3 times since I lived there.
When was the last time you went?
Last year. Last summer we went on a family trip.
Nice. I think I was there last summer too. Maybe we went around the same time.
Maybe. Anyways, we'll get started here. What or who inspired you to start music?
I feel like there's not like one person who's like inspired me. I think it was just constantly like I had a young mom, and then growing up in Hawaii, like there's a lot of like island music, but there was also like your top hit stations, and I always loved listening to them. And my mom would always have like Destiny's Child playing in the morning, and then I started listening to the radio, and I really fell in love with like Ashanti and like Ja Rule and all that type of music. And so I always loved it, and I knew I always loved performing, because anytime like talent shows would come around, or like if I would gather my family and be like, look at this dance I just made, like I just loved it so much. So I think like there wasn't one inspiration. I just think I always loved doing it so much that I knew that I would never stop pursuing it.
How did you know you knew how to sing?
I think because I loved music so much, I went into choir when I was like in 1st grade, maybe. I think. But yeah, I started doing choir, and I just loved it so much. I went to a Catholic school growing up, so like we were in church, and there'd always be like the church songs too, and like that was always my favorite part about church. And so I think I just always felt a liking to singing, and then I just started using my voice for it.
So you grew up Catholic?
Yeah.
Me too, actually. That's crazy.
Oh, we have a lot more in common.
I know, right? So how long have you been doing music?
I've been taking it seriously for the past about 3 years now, but I mean, I've always been on and off doing music, whether it was me putting out SoundCloud things when I was in college, or being on the back end of things and more so helping other artists with their marketing and stuff like that. Like I've always been involved in the music industry, but as far as me wanting to grow like my own artistry and being my own artist, I would say probably about 3 years ago.
Oh, okay. So are you currently with any kind of record label?
No, I am independent and unsigned for now.
I saw one of your things you said you were like the 5-year contract. What's that? What was that about?
Oh, so that's my 5-year plan. So I have a whole 5-year plan with my music, just because it's really like the foundation for everything I'm doing right now and what I have coming up. I just like to have like a solid foundation to go off of, but that's what I was talking about.
Oh, okay. So basically like a goal you set for yourself. Okay. Can you walk us through the process? Like when you do write, do you sit and write, or do you just like think of something when you're just out and you're like, okay, let me put this in my notes? Like, how does that work?
So it's like a little bit of both when it comes to my creative process. Like, yes, there are times where I'll sit down intentionally and be like, okay, I'm going to make something today. I'll play a beat and I'll just start writing to it. But there are also times where I like hear something really cool in the background of like me being out who knows, at a mall, and it just invokes some sort of emotion in me, and I'm like, oh, I open up my notes tab on my phone and I just have like a bunch of lyrics there too.
So it just comes like natural sometimes, or do you have to sit and think about it?
Yeah, I think it's like both. And I think that's with every artist, you know, like there are times where things are just going to flow naturally and come, and that's great. But there's also times where like you're going to have to work a little bit harder and like sit down and actually like think about what you're writing. It's just a balance of both, really.
Overall, what would you say your genre is?
I say pop R&B
Pop.
because I love taking elements of pop, which is very vague to say anyways, but I also just really love like how soulful and sultry R&B is. So I kind of like mixing the two worlds while also just experimenting with what I like.
Yeah, you just released a new single, right? Called Slow Motion. Y'all guys go
Yes.
check it out. That's actually that is my like vibe. So I've been listening to that on repeat. I was like, I like this.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I like R&B, like stuff like that, you know.
Okay,
I also like
yeah.
hip hop too. I mean, I love Drake, but I can get down with Slow Motion. Like I really like that song.
Thank you so much. Yeah, that's honestly my favorite song to date that I've put out.
Yeah. How did you come up with that? Like, how did you come up with the concept? Because when I went to your profile, like, if you guys go look at her Instagram profile, like, I love the color scheme, and that's what brought me to you. Like, oh, I like this.
Oh, thank you.
And I like how it's like color coordinated in a way. Like, how do you think of your concepts?
Honestly, so I don't even know how to really explain it. I just think I take a mix of like, because I got my degree from UNT in marketing and journalism, strategic communications. And then that's what I went on doing before I started doing my own music. Like I worked at agencies and I was doing everything I do for myself, branding wise, for other artists. So I feel like I take a little bit of that mixed in with just like whatever comes to the spot, like whatever comes to mind on the spot when it comes to like me envisioning something, if that makes sense.
Okay, yeah, I like it. You have a nice little color scheme going. It's cute and it draws some like attention to the eye.
Thank you.
You know, so I
work really hard on
that. How does performing live make you feel? I saw you just did a live show not too long ago.
Yes, I just did my biggest show yet at Trees in Deep Ellum, and I think there was like over 200 people there. That was like the biggest show I've done so far, and I'm so grateful. But to answer your question, I feel like for me, performing is just everything. Like I said earlier, being a kid, like I just loved doing it. I don't know if it was because I loved like having the attention on me or just like sharing that moment with people, like probably all of it. But when I perform, it's just like a special moment for me. I just want to like be so engulfed in like everything I created and finally being able to translate that to people who may or may have not heard my music. It's just like such a special moment to me that I love curating it to be very specific. And I just want everyone to feel the vibes of like having fun and just like all there. Because when people go to concerts, right, like it's to get away from everything, I feel like, and to just like be in the music and your emotions, whatever you're feeling or going through. And so to me, performing is just like everything.
Is that, you said, so you did mention it was your biggest show. Is that how many live shows have you done?
Oh my gosh, so many. Like I can't count them. I'm sure it's probably like maybe around 10 because I made it a big goal for myself this year to start actually performing my music, and it's just been such a blessing with all the opportunities I've had to do that.
So would you say that's kind of your favorite part about
like everything?
Yes, performing?
I think it's definitely up there in like top 3 for sure.
What do you hope like your listeners take from your music?
So right now it's fuccgirl season. And so for me, it's just, I curated this season to be for people who, which I feel like everyone goes through this, the moments and times when like you're just having fun. You don't really have a care in the world. You're just moving and doing things the way you want to without thinking of the consequences of it. And so really, I just want people to have fun listening to my music right now and like vibe out. But there is like a deeper meaning to everything. And I think it'll like unfold more as like the 5-year plan I have comes along and as the next season comes after fuccgirl season. So it'll all make sense in the end.
I was gonna say, like, what is that? What is fuccgirl season? Is it just a moment in time that you have right now, or you want it to reveal itself?
So it's a little bit of both, but it was definitely like from moments of like introspection when like I would sit and think to myself, of the times when I was very like selfish and careless and reckless. But like, yeah, at the end of the day, they probably led to like some pretty crazy consequences. But in the time I was having so much fun, I was like just doing me. So fuck girl season is just for people who, as cliche as it sounds, is like here for a good time, not a long time.
Right. I love that. You just want people to vibe. And
yeah.
Did you have your song on the radio recently too?
Yeah, KXT played it, and shout out KXT. They are always so supportive with all local artists. So if you know of any artists, definitely tell them to submit their music to them. But they played it. But before that, like a few of my other songs have been played on 93.3 The Beat. What else was it played on? It was played on UTD Radio. I think that's all the ones I can like think of. But yeah, it's such a special moment when it gets played.
I was going to say, how does that feel like just hearing yourself on the radio?
It's cool. It's like, even though I've heard the song so many times, hearing it on the radio is like such a different experience.
Yeah. Was it just like something exciting?
Yeah, exciting. And to know like it's broadcasting, you know, reaching a bunch of people. I've even had people I work with who, some of them know I do music, some of them don't, will like come to me like, oh, I heard you on the radio. And it's just such a like a cool feeling, you know.
That's awesome though. Like, it's like, yeah, that's me. Yeah. How did do you submit like your songs to them and then they'll decide whether they want?
Yeah, so like I said, my background is in like PR, so I had to do that for like other artists, like submit their music to like stations, to media outlets, blogs, newspapers, all that. And so I'm essentially just like doing all that for myself right now. So with radio, usually you can just like email the DJs, or if you go online, they'll have like a submission form you can fill out and apply to have your music on the radio.
Oh, okay, that's awesome. So you kind of still do like what you did for school?
But for myself now.
But for yourself.
Yeah.
Was that the goal? Did you ever think be like,
you know, I don't think I knew it was the goal at the time I was going to school, or even like after, but I think it all just like fell into place the way it needed to.
Do you have a favorite artist?
Yes, I have a lot of favorite artists. I would say right now, just like pertaining to fuck girl season, the big four that I'm really, really getting a lot of inspiration from. One is Jhené Aiko, and I will always get inspo from her. I love her so much. Favorite artist. But then Ariana Grande is definitely another one. I just really love how she can do so much with her voice. It's just such a beautiful instrument. And then Kehlani, because I love her like melodic rapping. And then Victoria Monet for sure, because she, great artist, great songwriter, phenomenal performer.
When I heard your song, I was definitely getting like Kalani vibes for sure. Yeah.
Good. That means we're on track.
Yeah, because she's like a little bit of both. I feel like she does a mixture, you know. If you could collab with any artist, who would it be?
Jhené Aiko.
Yeah.
Jhené Aiko.
Where is she? She's not from Hawaii, is she?
No, she has family roots. I forgot on what island. It might be the Big Island, but she's from California.
Oh,
but she does have ties to Hawaii.
Yeah. If you could give yourself like one piece of advice, what would it be? Your younger self.
Like me now giving my younger self advice? Is that what you're asking?
If you're younger, yes.
Okay. Oh, that's a good one. I think I would just say, I actually just saw this quote the other day. You know, this is great question to ask. I would say, don't look for attention when you don't know yourself. Like, I feel like I was putting so many things out, and like I wanted to just be seen, I wanted to be heard, but it was just like I didn't even really know myself as an artist, or maybe even like as a person at that time. And so it can get so confusing, because the more you put yourself out there, I feel like the more you're susceptible to like other people's opinions and thoughts and how they feel and think about you, and then that starts to like cloud up your visions and thoughts if you don't even really know who you are. So I would say that.
So I saw recently you posted something about that reel with, you know, like you and Russ kind of having the same concept. So I want to ask you, how do you deal with like the people that are
the haters,
the backlash? Yeah, how do you deal with that? Because I'm just like, for me, I'm so sensitive. I'm just like, y'all are mean.
Yeah, no.
How do you handle? Well, how have you handled that? Because I'm pretty sure that just happened.
Yeah. So luckily I went viral before on TikTok for these like Grether's pastilles I was trying out. So I kind of already like got so much backlash and trolled by people off that video. And that was like maybe 2 years ago, I think. So it was like that hurt a lot. When that was going through that, I was like, dang, should I even be singing anymore? Like people were like, your voice sucks. And I was like, maybe they're right. But again, that's what goes back to what I was saying. Like, don't try to get attention and put things out there if like you can't handle like what comes with that. But now it's like when I see people comment on that Russ video, which one I still will say to this day that Russ or his team saw my video.
No, because why did he mention female in Waikiki though? If you know, you know.
I'm just saying, Russ. But it's really just funny at this point because it's like to see people get so upset and pressed over like a video like that. It's just like, man, there's so many other things going on in this world. You know, and there's so like I just think if we're all just trying to be like sources of like love and light, the internet's crazy.
For real. It's like no remorse at times.
No, I don't know if you've seen some of the comments on there, but it's pretty wild.
Yeah, I did, but I have something to mention, but I'll say that off camera. Sorry, guys. But yeah, that's crazy. So you just at this point you're just like whatever about it.
Yeah, you know, like at this point you just kind of have to understand, especially leveling up as an artist, is like not everybody's gonna like what you're doing, and that's okay, because it still comes down to like, are you gonna do it for the people who are there for you, you know? So the people who hate on me or my music or anything like that, like they're definitely entitled to their own opinion, but like at the end of the day you're helping the algorithm for me, so go ahead and keep the comments coming.
Right. I feel like that's with any creative though, because like not everyone's gonna like what you do. You know, whether you're an actor, model, music artist, fashion designer, like not everyone's gonna agree with what you have going on, but like you said, you're doing it for the people that do like it. Yeah. Do you have any exciting projects coming up or anything you can talk about?
Yeah, so I do have a single or two maybe for fuccgirl season that I still have yet to release, but I am getting started on the next season, which is Lost Girl season, and it's going to be very different. Just what I can say about it is it's just going to be a season that really encompasses what happens when all the consequences of your actions start coming to play.
When you were writing your songs, is it something that's happening in real life?
Yes and no. So there are times when like it does happen that way, but there's also times where like I'll just like get a flashback to something that happened before, and I'll just like go off that experience too.
So what would you say like Lost Girl season more is about, like the person you were?
That is such a deep question. I think it's both. I think it's definitely the person I was, because I do think like I did go through a lot of seasons where I had to find myself and I experienced loss in life. But I also feel like it happens now too, because I mean, as you're growing and learning, you're always going to have moments of feeling lost, right? Because you don't know everything.
Right.
So I think it's going to be super relatable, not just to like my current situation, but I think everybody who listens to it is going to be able to really relate to something, because I'm sure we've all experienced loss.
Right. Whether that's with a person or a thing. Right? People lose things.
Love, jobs, money, yourself.
Right. So you said, oh yeah, that's right. So you said you might drop 2 singles.
I might.
So she might.
I might.
Do you do every song with music video, or it's just?
Oh no.
No,
I don't. I was doing that at first, but to be fair, and like to all the artists out there, it's not always worth the investment to do a music video. The last songs I've done, I've just invested in like reels and short form content, and I feel like I've just seen such a bigger return on that than music videos.
Oh, okay. So the reels is what gets the people going.
Yeah, gets the people going.
As of now, like everything is reels everywhere. Facebook, TikTok, Instagram. Yeah,
I feel like once you get to a certain level where people will be willing to pay attention to you, then you're like, yes, start putting out those music videos. But right now is like I'm still trying to like build my fan base and like everything I'm working towards. It just makes more sense to make it a little more digestible so people can like understand. I feel like I'm just spitting marketing game at this point.
You are. You also have a degree in it. How do you find like audience? Like how do you, apart from social media?
I don't really know. I think I just like put my stuff out there into the universe and just like hope that the people who are meant to find it like come across it. Outside of like me obviously trying to do a lot of campaigns that help with my exposure to my music and myself, it's really just hoping and praying that it just lands in front of the people who it's made for.
Right. I love that. You guys tap into, wait, I don't want to butcher your name. Like cauliflower. That's right. Wait, so is Collie your real name?
Yes.
Oh, okay. That's cool. How did you think of flower?
I think the biggest thing was because anytime I had to introduce myself to people, I'd always have to say Collie, like cauliflower, because I couldn't think of anything else that would make it stick. And if I didn't say that, then it'd be like Holly, Callie, you know, and it's like, no, cauliflower.
Oh, okay. I see. That's nice. That's a nice little gift, a nice little, like, what do you call it? Flow. There you go. That's the word I'm looking for.
It has a ring to it.
Yes, it does. Well, thank you for coming on and joining on the Come Up podcast, guys. Go check her out, Cauliflower. And then her Instagram will be down below. If you look at her profile, her favorite color is purple.
Period. Thank you so much for having me.
Yes, of course. YouTube fam, don't forget to subscribe, like, comment. We will see you guys in 2 weeks.